I know I'm not really breaking any new ground on this one, but Star Wars is pretty much a dead brand. I think last year's Acolyte, that just really was the straw that broke the camel's back for a lot of people. Now, of course, we could walk it back further for people that have respect for the lore and the canon, at least in regards to the movies. I think a lot of people would probably point to the downfall of Star Wars in regards to the slop streaming shows. Obi-Wan was probably a point where a lot of people hopped off the bandwagon because that did so much damage to, yes, its titular character. It also, did a tremendous amount of damage to Vader and the prequels and the sequels in regards to Force power. Like, there was just so much lore-breaking stupidity. That was a hopping off point for a lot of people as well. But the iceberg moment, I think people are finally, in regards to some certain round-headed idiot whose picture is front and center right there, who is proclaiming that, yeah, coming back to the franchise is something I'm not going to be doing, even though it was a part of one of Kathleen Kennedy's many, many, many announcements. By the time we get around to that 10-year anniversary where we're supposed to reappraise The Last Jedi as an absolute masterpiece, that's going to be the point in time where people go, wow, with the third movie, that's when the franchise actually died. But yeah, man, that point is really going to be driven home in May of next year with Mandalorian and Grogu. I don't think that movie's going to make much money at all. That first teaser trailer that came out, holy shit, was that underwhelming, just in sheer presentation. And then, of course, when it came to people actually watching it, like the view count on that is, oh boy, shockingly pathetic. And what's the next project that's coming out? Maul Shadow Lord? Bro, those animated shows that go up on Lucasfilm, nobody watches that. Like, there was, 4 seasons of Bad Batch? How many seasons of Visions? Like, oh, okay, cool. You're telling a story that most people think is about a character that died in 1999. Oh no, but he came back for the Clone Wars. A few dozen people watched the Clone Wars in the grand scheme of things. And a vast majority of those people that thought that the Clone Wars was good, were willing to give deference to Dave Filoni, have been turned off by his slop writing, thanks to The Mandalorian Season 3 and then Ahsoka as well. But hey, maybe it could all be redeemed by Ahsoka Season 2, which is supposed to come out sometime next year. But yeah, you have all of these projects. You have all of this stuff just kicking it around in the ether, but outside of Mandalorian and Grogu, and I guess that's Starfighter thing, that Sean Levy, Ryan Gosling movie, that is going to be the 50th anniversary movie for Star Wars. Holy shit. They don't have anything locked down. Like I said before, there's a lot of announcements, and these, a vast majority of the time, tend to go in this direction as opposed to any other. So yeah, Rian Johnson finally confirms his Star Wars trilogy is dead. Oh no, Rian Johnson has finally said the quiet part out loud. His Star Wars trilogy isn't happening. Speaking on Radio Andy this week, the Knives Out filmmaker, because, oh god, that one, the third Knives Out movie is just around the corner. God, they're so bad. They're so bad. Offered one of the clearest updates yet on the long dormant project, confirming that it's not in active development and hasn't been for years. Yeah, we know. I've had my hands kind of full making these. Rian Johnson said. Oh, when asked about his Star Wars trilogy, I made a whole other trilogy of Knives Out movies. Making The Last Jedi was like the best experience of my life, and I'm still tight with the folks at Lucasfilm, and we're not actively working on it right now, but if down the line it makes sense to come back to that universe, I'd be thrilled. Yeah, man, there you go. He's not coming back. He's got other things to do at this point in time, and Netflix has more promise, has deeper pockets, I would imagine, than Lucasfilm, because, well, care of Tony Gilroy from earlier this year, Disney is kind of done pumping money into streaming. They're kind of lowballing a bunch of shit because they fucking wasted a lot of money. And we've gone through a bunch of the tax returns for Lucasfilm specifically, and they've been spending like a drunken sailor on shore leave with not a lot in the way of returns. So eventually, that cash spigot is going to have to turn off. People are going to have to realize that Lucasfilm and Star Wars is fucking dead. And I really think that point is going to be driven home in May of next year with Mandalorian and Grogu, when its failure is writ large to the world. I would probably be the most shocked out of anything if that thing goes on and makes $1 billion. Like, I could not understand that. I understand that there's, the baby Grogu factor, but if that film was released in 2019 in the afterglow of The Mandalorian Season 1, that's a totally different story. But we are 7 years at the point of that film's release. 7 years removed from that shit, so stop it. The world's in an entirely different place. The theater structure is in a completely different way. But Hollywood is the one constant in this, because they're out there continuing to try to sound the trumpet that, hey guys, you want more Star Wars stuff, right? the media pushes for the hunt for Ben Solo and a Star Wars sequel revival because they still think that people want this shit? Like, no, obviously not. And the fact that this thing continues to get brought up, it boggles the mind until you start to put yourself in the shoes of Access Media reporters, and it's like, oh, yeah, it starts to make a little bit more sense. Ever since Adam Driver told the Associated Press like a month ago that he and director Steven Soderbergh had spent 2 years independently developing a Star Wars movie centered around his Ben Solo character, only for Disney to reject it, we've been told by the Access Media there's a huge demand for the film. Not really, because, again, like, you're trying to tell a story, because this is going to be set canonically after the events of Rise of Skywalker, who's very much dead. But then again, Palpatine was also very much dead in a kind of a similar situation where he was effectively fucking vaporized, but hey, somehow Palpatine returned. Put a pin in that for a moment. A quick Google News search for the hunt for Ben Solo reveals a series of headlines from all the major outlets. Star Wars fans demand the hunt for Ben Solo and viral stunt at Disney Studios, care of Collider. Yes, of course, fucking professional LucasFilm cockholster. Star Wars fans launch billboard campaign to save the hunt for Ben Solo. No one's ever really gone pro variety. Oh my god, Adam Driver says Disney shut down Ben Solo Star Wars sequel film, despite Lucasfilm saying they love the idea, care of Deadline. In an article headline, The Hunt for Ben Solo reaction is a start to the start of the Star Wars sequel revival. Ooh, Empire magazine writes, what is notable is the volume of excitement for the film from all corners of the Star Wars fandom, not just those who have long defended the sequel films from its more hostile factions. It's interesting because I don't really see anybody defending the entirety of this sequel trilogy. You got some people saying, oh, you know, TFA was good, right? Like The Force Awakens celebrating its 10th year anniversary. Where's the celebrations, Lucasfilm? Where's that? That's quickly coming up. It's like, what, T-minus 1 month away? But no, we don't want to talk about that for whatever reason. Interesting. You made over $2 billion, but you're not even gonna blow up a balloon for it? Interesting. But yeah, you'll have some people say, well, TFA was good. Okay, it had some good ideas, but it ended up getting let down by its sequel. But then, of course, yes, of all of the sequel movies, like the TLJ defenders, they're definitely going to be the most ardent supporters that are out there. They are still a minuscule, a tiny fraction of the overall fan base, kind of like Acolyte supporters. But then again, when it comes to Rise of Skywalker, literally nobody defends that movie. It's a fucking pile of shit. So yeah, it's interesting because you'll have prequel defenders. You'll obviously have fans, and rightly so, for the OT. But when it comes to people long defending the sequel films, like, nobody does that. Even the people that are a part of it don't even want to be a part of Lucasfilm moving forward, because now you have Oscar Isaac. Now, I got a problem with this on a multitude of levels. Okay, so yeah, just here's the headline. Oscar Isaac, I'm not so open to working with Disney. Oh, because of their capitulation to Chinese concentration camps, because of their overt political posturing, because of their support for child mutilation at the hands of parents that have Munchausen by proxy disorder and really want to appeal to their other liberal friends and co-workers that they too have a trans kid. No. It's after the Jimmy Kimmel suspension. Oh, okay, cool. Said he'd return to Star Wars if Disney does not succumb to fascism. Oh, shut the fuck up, you absolute fucking mong. This is the state, okay, because we took a look at the business side of Lucasfilm and how they are completely and totally scuttling every opportunity, and now you got the people that are or want to be a part of Star Wars, and it's like, this is why the franchise is as dead as it can get. You have Mark Hamill running his fucking drunken mouth every opportunity he gets. He also recently had Harrison Ford also go on an anti-Trump tirade. The only one who's had a level head about the situation, Gary Fisher. Oscar Isaac told Variety in late August, before the world premiere of Frankenstein at the Venice Film Festival, that he was more than open to returning as Poe Dameron in future Star Wars movies. Isaac played the dashing X-Wing fighter pilot in 3 Star Wars films and delivered some banger lines like somehow Palpatine returned. But returning to the Disney-owned franchise got a little more complicated for Isaac just a few weeks later when Disney-owned ABC pulled Jimmy Kimmel off the air over comments he made about the shoot. No, he is blatant and verifiable defamation. Like, he knowingly lied. He's a liar. He could theoretically be charged for slander. But no. He made some comments about Charlie Kirk, right? In a new interview. And by the way, who pulled him? Who pulled him? Was that the FCC? Was that? Oh no, right. That was a Bob Iger decision. Oh no, right. That was a Sinclair and Nexstar decision. Oh, okay, cool. But no. Fascists around every corner. I fought space Nazis for fucking make-believe movies. I know what real fascism is. Just sit the fuck down. In a new interview with GQ magazine, Isaac was asked about returning to Star Wars and had this new clarification at, yeah, I mean, I'd be open to it. Again, this sounds exactly like Rian Johnson. Yeah, it makes sense. I'd come back to it, but no, we're not doing anything with it. But yeah, I'd be open to it. Although right now I'm not so open to working with Disney. But if they can kind of figure it out and, not succumb to fascism, that would be great. Oh, shut the fuck up. Whenever I hear somebody who makes believe for a living talk about fascism, I just immediately check out. If that happens, then yeah, I'd be open to having a conversation about a galaxy far away or any other number of things. Because I don't necessarily think that they're, knocking down the door for the return of Poe or, just begging you for the return of Moon Knight. Well, whatever, man. GQ knows that the interview with Isaac took place 2 days after ABC and Disney suspended production on Jimmy Kimmel Live. And by that point in time, wasn't he already, given the green light to come back to the air? Or was this taking place over the weekend? Like, fuck off. It's so funny, right? Because I also have earmarked a video about some of Jimmy's more recent comments about how they want to continue to perpetuate this lie that, oh, Trump was the one who ended up, getting us canceled. It's like, these guys are just liars. Liars and idiots. That's really what I've always kind of known, but every once in a while, you just really need the obvious restated to you, because if you think Disney is succumbing to fascism, you're a fucking idiot. If you think Rian Johnson is going to be making his trilogy, oh, he's saying one thing, but really he's working in the background, okay? He's got some great ideas, guys. Don't worry about it. You're a fucking idiot. And if you think The Hunt for Ben Solo is just one of those billion-dollar ideas that got away, guess what? You already know what I'm going to say. You're a fucking idiot. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Doc on Smile. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.